Hey everyone, this is Pete, and welcome back to Atari ST A to Z, a series of short playthroughs of Atari ST games, some which I grew up with and some which are new to me. Today is one of the former. Today we're taking a look at Darkside, which was a 1988 release from Microprose's Microstatus label, developed by Incentive Software. Darkside was the second game to use the Freescape 3D engine after a game called Driller, which was actually the prequel to Darkside. Freescape, if you've not come across it before, was a cross-platform filled 3D polygonal engine that worked on both 8 and 16-bit systems that allowed game worlds to be constructed from a floor and then various primitive 3D objects placed on top of it. And those areas could then be linked together into sort of rooms to create a whole world, if you like. Darkside is quite interesting from a modern perspective in that it incorporates a bunch of movement and camera options that didn't become standard practice in 3D first-person games until much later. So you can look up and down, for example, you can fly on a jetpack, and you can crouch down and look under things as well. So lots of interesting things going on there. Now, I've actually got a copy of the game here, so with this rather strange box art here that doesn't actually match the game's title screen, which is quite interesting. Here's the blurb on the back, with the Microstatus logo down there. Microprose at the time was trying to sort of establish several different labels, and Microstatus kind of did, I guess you call them weird games. They also had Microstyle, which they marketed as games for adults, but not in like a sexual way or an adult content way or anything like that. They were just games that were so supposedly aimed a bit more at the grown-up market, but I guess all of Microprose's games were kind of aimed at the grown-up market anyway, because they mainly made flight simulators. Anyway, let's read the blurb on the back of the Darkside box. Trouble is brewing on the dark side of the moon. The Ketars, a banished race, have spent no less than 200 years planning their revenge on the peace-loving Evaths. Determined to destroy the planet and its people, they have built an incredibly powerful laser weapon on the dark side of Tricuspid, Evath's moon. This giant weapon is known as Zephyr 1 and is gradually gaining power from a collection of energy-collecting devices. Clumsy sentence. The destruction of Evath is imminent when you are called in as troubleshooter. The challenge which awaits you in Darkside is awesome, by its original meaning, presumably. This arcade adventure has incredible depth and features solid 3D Freescape. You can move around and into buildings, view them from any angle and even from above. Your mission is to explore Tricuspid and its tunnel system in order to disable the energy matrix and save Evath. A whole host of puzzles and defences put all your skills to the test. In this adventure, the Ketars are not your only enemy. Time is fast running out for the Evaths. Accept the challenge of Darkside now. Now, those of you who have been following Atari A to Z for a while, as in before I started doing this on YouTube, will recall that this is actually one of the first things I wrote about on the Atari A to Z website. So you may have seen this before, but it's nice to show it off on video as well. Here's the manual. So there's a bit of introductory text in there that sort of sets the scene. It's very similar to what we saw on the back, but it's actually quite a bit longer. It's sort of like a mini novella in many ways, so I won't read all of that now. One interesting thing in this pack is this back section here. This message from the data crew section, because this provides a series of cryptic clues to the game, and they're all written in the style of Daily Telegraph crossword clues, so they're really cryptic. So yeah, for example, clue number 1, in-house sustenance is required for the task that awaits you. Okay. Number 2, in the cupboard that is bare, Jerry Mouse may find a royal reception. However, before you roll back the carpet, make sure that you are well fed. I don't know. But anyway, this was intended to provide you with some clues to solving the game, because there was a clear solution to the game. But there was also like a prize draw for this as well. In the back it says, the first correct solution to all the cryptic clues drawn in the Microstatus offices on 1st September 1989 will receive a 2-week expenses paid trip for 2 to Baltimore, USA. Offer closes 15th August 1989. I don't know if anyone ever won that, because those clues are so obtuse that I seriously doubt that anyone actually solved them. And there are 40 of them. And so expecting someone to solve 40 of those ridiculous clues for a trip to Baltimore, of all places, well, I don't know, nothing against Baltimore. It just doesn't seem like somewhere that just doesn't seem like a prime tourist destination or anything like that. But there you go. Anyway, that is Dark Side for Atari ST. Let's go play it. Okay, here we are with Dark Side from Incentive Software. And you'll see what I mean about the title screen not really resembling the box art there, if you think back to the box art that I showed you before. In fact, I can probably... I don't know how well you can see it in the corner, but yeah, a little bit different, as you can see. Right, so press the key to start. Let's do just that. Here we are in Dark Side. So you can move around the Freescape world by using the joystick or keyboard controls. We can shoot this thing using our mouse cursor. We can also shoot that tree and it flies off into space, which was a funny little Easter egg that they dropped in there. This tank thing will try and kill you. And then we need to shoot this and head inside. So, everything is very abstract in Dark Side. So these pillars, they will restore your fuel when you walk into them until they disappear, and you score points while you're replenishing your fuel and your shields as well. So if you want to sort of finish the game with the maximum possible score, you need to find all of these and collect them. But it's also useful to have the fuel ready for you. This pentagonal thing here, this is a shield regenerator. Again, you score points while you are replenishing your shields in there, but you've got to be a bit careful because you lose shields just from walking into stuff in this game, so you have to be really careful. Now, I'm going to show you one of the most bullshit puzzles in this game, which is starting with the requirement. Oops, hold on, that's the wrong button. Turn off the jetpack. There we go. Right. We have to crouch down and go through this tiny hole here that you're expected to see for yourself. And there's another fuel thing here that we can grab. And there we go. Then you need to click this axe thing for some reason. And that does something. And then we head back outside. And we proceed past the building to the north. And then, if I remember correctly... Right, these candle-shaped things, these are the ECUs you're supposed to be destroying. So you shoot them, and you'll see that you get some points, and also the ECU percentage up in the corner changes as well. It goes down a bit, and that means that the timer over here on the left-hand side will start going down a little bit more quickly. So when that top white block reaches the flashing coloured square, you're out of time. So what you want to try and do as quickly as possible at the start of the game is get as many ECUs as possible out there. Yeah, so you see I shot that tiny cube there that we got absolutely no feedback on what it does whatsoever. But yeah, you need to do that because of something that comes up a little bit later. Anyway, let's get back down to ground level. Now, you'll notice that when I shot this one here, it immediately regenerated. And the reason for that is if you follow the lines on the floor, you see that this is connected to two other ECUs. And that means that you can't destroy it. Whereas this one here, this is at the end point of one of the power cables. So you can't destroy something that is in the middle of a string of active ECUs. So what you have to do in order to kind of make some progress is follow along those power lines and take out stuff that is just by itself. I'm going to destroy that because that is a detector that will put me in prison. Now, at one point, I do need to go into prison because there's a item that I need in there, but otherwise, you want to try and stay out of there because it just wastes time. Right, there's another one down because it's at an end point. So what we could then do is we can then follow along this line here and systematically take out the other ones in the sequence, which will slow our timer down a bit. But this one you see here is a bit troublesome because it's got cables feeding into it from all different directions, so we're not going to get away with doing much on that one. So instead, we find our way to the end of the sequence, which is right here. And just blast away. You see we're down to 80% already, so it's going quite well. You'll also notice that I'm using the game's ability to look up and down here, and you'll see that there's this symbol at the side here that shows the angle that you're looking at. You can also tilt your head left and right, which is one of the most pointless things available in the game, but you know, it's an option. You can do it. The other thing you can do is you can increase and decrease your step size as well, which basically means you can sort of run as well as just walk. I forget what that means, but I think it's bad. I think that means that like something is coming after you. Right, that one is also connected to several endpoints. So if we follow that along, so yeah, basically this game is one big puzzle where you're sort of untangling this all of these ECUs from each other and trying to figure out the best way of dismantling this entire power network. It's interesting, and if you know what you're doing, you can finish the whole thing in about 15 minutes. But if you don't, you have a lot of exploring to do. Right, so this one we can't take out because it carries on down here. So is there an end point over here? No, that goes to the light side again. So the way the moon is arranged in this that you're on is it's got an equator that continually wraps around on itself, and every other sector along the equator you can go north and south, and if you go north or south again from one of those sectors that is north or south of the equator, you will reach either the light side of the moon or the dark side of the moon. The dark side of the moon is where the cannon is, so you can't actually get there straight away. But the light side is sort of basically the north pole of the moon. Okay, so making reasonable progress. So you can map this game, but eventually you'll just sort of get a feel for how the different sectors are arranged and how you can get from place to place. An endpoint? Yes, it is. There we go. We're down to 56% already. You can see how much slower the timer over on the left-hand side is going now. But we may have already spent a little bit too much time faffing around at the start. Okay, so this flashing bit here, this is a force field that you can't go through. You see there's a little red pad there. that means that that's a teleporter destination. You have to find these various crystals to go into a telepod, and those allow you to cross over into some of those restricted areas. But we haven't found any of those yet. Right, here we are in prison, because as we were leaving that sector, we were caught by a detector. And the reason we need to go in here is that we have to collect this red telepod crystal. Do we just walk into that? Yes, we do. There we go. Okay, and then to get out of prison, you must pay for a release. So you pay either shield or fuel. The fuel is the green one here, so that's usually the better one to pay, because you don't die if you run out of fuel, but you do die if you run out of shield. So, right, we are now in the tunnels beneath the equator of the moon, and you'll see that there's these lights in the ceiling here, and we can proceed. Oh, we're out of time already. Okay, so basically I faffed around too much at the beginning, and that killed us. So let's have another go, and let's not waste any time to start with. I'll come back and do that nonsense in the building after we've already taken down a few of these, a few of the ECUs that are here. If you would just die, that would be lovely. Thank you very much. Right, so I'm low on shield and fuel, but that's fine for the minute. So I'm not going to spend much time getting into dangerous situations for now. So again, we just follow this along here. Take out this tank. Uh-oh. Or we could get thrown straight into prison. That's fine too. We'll pick up the crystal. Pay our way out. Oh, except I can't get out of here now because I'm out of fuel. Oh no. Alright, let's just kill myself by walking into a wall. There we go. See why this game's a little bit tricky now. And also why the fact that if you know what you're doing, it only takes 15 minutes isn't necessarily a huge problem, because actually getting to a state where you do know what you're doing is quite challenging. Right, before we... Okay, let's get the fuel and shield, because obviously we need that. We do have a tiny bit of time to spare. Alright, I won't bother with the other one though, because that's just going to waste some time. While I'm here, I may as well just do this. As well as changing your step size, you can actually change the angle you turn at as well. So you can turn a bit more quickly, which is nice. It's basically this game's way of acknowledging that, yeah, analog control would have probably been quite helpful, but, you know, that wasn't a thing on the ST, so you just have to deal with it, really. Uh-oh. My keyboard's stuck. And my mouse is stuck. What's happening? I'll be right back. Right. After that little error, let's try again, shall we? This time around, I'm going to turn the music on, because this game has actually quite a pleasant soundtrack. Composed by a guy called Wally Baben, I think it was, who did quite a lot of music for both 8 and 16-bit games in the era. Don't worry, it does go somewhere other than droning in a minute. Frustratingly for ST owners with an inferiority complex, the Commodore 64 version of this game actually has a much better version of this tune than the ST version does. But the ST version is still pretty cool. It's very sort of old school sci-fi. Right. Now we've done that, let's head off to the north. I'm not going to worry about that stupid tank this time. I may as well go and do this though. Since it's right there. Just need to go and follow this and destroy that detector for now, and hopefully this tank as well. Alright, onward. Onward in this direction and past this one, takes us to the light side. Do we make step size bigger again? S for step. There we go. There we go. Run along. Not sure how it calculates how many points it gives you, because it always seems to be sort of almost picking a random number to give you points whenever you take out one of these ECUs. Okay, that one's still connected to something. So let's just fly over here and follow along here. Okay, those are both connected to stuff. What about this one? Oh, there's the detector. We've got a bit more time available to us this time, so we should be okay. I don't waste too much in the way of shield and or fuel. Right, what we're actually looking for down here is we're looking for one of these ceiling lights that is of a different colour. There is one somewhere, and there it is. And if we shoot that, it turns into a teleport crystal, which is stupid. Like I say, that is the most stupid puzzle in this game, and I've told you how to do it now, so now you have no excuse for not finishing Darkside. Where am I? Always love that one. Shoot out that support and just kill the tank by dropping a big heavy thing on it. No entry access denied. Okay then. Alright, we can cross this bridge. End up over here. You notice that all the sectors are named after sort of characters from mythology, so it was a nice touch. Alright, what is in this direction? That's that down there. And that one there, we don't want to go that way because we'll get caught by the detector again. Take that one out yet? We can. Jolly good. Could use some shields, really. What is over here? This is the light side again. Two more strings ending up in this direction. That one's down. That's good. That's an end point. This one here is always a pain to get rid of, and as you might expect from it being a much more elaborate construction than a lot of the other ones. A lot of Freescape games involve shooting cubes to make things happen, as you can see. Right, let's get some fuel. Actually, let's get some shield before we walk into the wall and die. There we go. Now, the other things in here, if you shoot that, you'll get teleported somewhere. This one allows you to balance your shield and fuel. So if you have more fuel than you have shield and you want to sort of swap them over, you can make use of that. What do we actually want to do? Actually, I'll tell you what we do want to do. I think we can get back into the tunnels through this thing. Because we do want to destroy those detectors that are stopping us from getting into that one sector. That's the prison there. You can tell by it's the fact it's the only single door leading off this tunnel. I think it might be this one. Yes, it is. Alright, so if you look at either side, the detector's pointing outwards to the both entrances to this sector. So if you destroy those, that then means that you can safely come into this sector without getting thrown in prison. See? Puzzles. Marvellous. Right, you not an end point, so we need to follow through in this direction. Which takes us to here. And this really annoying one. Which, as I suspected, we can't take out yet. So let's follow its pathway in one direction and see what happens. That takes us here. We can't take that down because that's linked to something else. I'm getting tight on time now. Alright. Let's try another direction. Let's try this way. We do that one yet? Yes. What about this one? No. Can take that one out though, that's good. Where does this one go? This one bends and goes off in this direction. It leaves over here. That has already been taken out though. That's back in the sector we started in. So, what about this way? Can't do you yet. So let's follow this one in another direction. You see, this, I like this game because it makes you think. It makes you think logically about sort of how things connect together and all that sort of thing. Right, we don't want to go that way. Because we've been that way. Let's try this way. Okay, so that one's an endpoint. This one is not. I'm going to put the sound effects back on now because you've heard the whole tune now. And the sound effects are quite useful for feedback, except I don't seem to be able to. There we go. Yeah, so the sound effects are quite useful for actually getting some feedback on what you're doing. You can hear things happening in the sound effects, and you can't do that while the music is playing. Just because the ST only had so many sound channels. And if they were all tied up doing music, then there wasn't a great deal you could do. Right, should be able to take this one out now. Lovely stuff. I don't think we're going to make it. I think we have just been just a little bit too slow. But 40%, we're not making terrible progress, so we might be able to nail a few more before we wrap up. Although not if I keep going around in circles like this. I need to find one of the sectors that's got the telepod in. Right, that's another one down. How about you? You ready to go yet? No, not yet. What about you? Yep, good. Progress. Like it. Alright, so the light side is clear. There's nothing here. What about over here? Oh, it's the same place. Alright, we cleared out this place. How are we doing here? This one is still troublesome. So this way should take us to where the detectors were. That one's still up and running. So we follow that along in this direction. We back here again. Oh, it connects this way as well. What's going on over here? This is taking us back to near the start point again. Okay, well, let's do a bit of investigating. We're trying to lock up when we destroy this tank this time. There we go. And to get into this walkway, in traditional Freescape tradition, we shoot a cube. Right, and then we jetpack up to the top. There's another teleporter crystal, which we need. There's some fuel and some shield regeneration, so we'll happily accept both of those. And fall down to the ground, come out the other side. That puts us back here again, where we've been before. As a one-way walkway, that's why it says access denied from that door we tried to go in before. Because you can't go that way. Right, can we go north from here? No, can we go south from here? Because we haven't been to any of the places that have that a telepod shows up in, and that is somewhere that we are going to need to go. So not that one. We go north from here. Right, that's one, but not the right one. So let's continue going west. And then west again. Oh, so little time left. We're not going to make it. And then north from here. Nope. Alright, keep going west. And west again. And north. There it is. Right. That's what we need. This is the telepod. So we step inside here. You see we got 3 of the 4 telepod crystals. So let's go to the green one first. And then you simply step back out of the telepod. And you're somewhere completely different. We need that letter there. So I think we need to fly into that. There we go. That is also the last telepod crystal there. And repost how much of this I remember. And we head back in here. Let's go for red this time. Step back outside. Alright, so that just takes us in the door. That's what you need the letters for. You need to spell out the word dark to be able to get through that door. And that takes you to the last ECU and the cannon itself. So that's where you go to finish the game, basically. Right, this one. What have we got here? Jetpack. Letter R. Thank you kindly. yellow. Takes us here. You'll see there's a rather cheeky one of these behind a thing, so that you can't see it from the other side of the force field. But that is connected to a couple of other ones, so that should take us along just a little bit further. Still not convinced we're going to make it, but let's see. And I think just to get back to outside this, that's it, you shoot the middle bit there, and that takes you back to where you started. Right, we'll worry about the rest of those letters when we come to them. Nope, you're still connected to stuff. What about you? Nope, you're still connected. This one is done with. What is north of this one? That one is also still connected to something. Follow along from here. Oh, this is where it gets tricky, these last ones, and sort of just tracking down those end points. Right, let's just follow this. That one's already done. No, we should... There we go. Progress! Oh, out of time. Out of time. It was going so well. It was going so well. That was not bad, though. Down to 20%. Just have to be a little bit quicker off the mark. And just so remember the route that you take through things and not get stuck doing things. And, yeah, we could have done that. Just not quite this time. Anyway, that is Dark Side, a favourite old 3D game. One of my favourites of the Freescape games. We've seen Castle Master on this series before. At some point I'll do Total Eclipse as well. That's not a game I know quite as well as this one. But it's fairly similar in execution to this one. It's all about sort of wandering around and finding things and shooting cubes to make things happen. Anyway, yeah, hope you enjoyed that. I enjoyed revisiting that. This is a game that I very much like from this period. As always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.